Hello, my beautiful Geminis. Welcome back to Queen Cup Tarot. Just smudging and whatnot, getting ready to do your May 2019 tarot readings. For those that are new, welcome. Please like, share, subscribe. That's my dog Thora. For those that are new, you will see her coming in and out of scene. That's God's dog. So if you see me interacting with her like a person, it's because she's just as smart as one. Anyways, yeah, that's Thora. For those that are not new and reoccurring and have been supporting the channel, you know, have been sticking with me, thank you so much. For those that have reached out to me, that I've connected with for personal readings, I hope you guys are all doing well. Thank you for the love and light you've sent back to me. I felt that, I received that, and I'm grateful for it. And yeah, I hope the rest of you have been doing well. I'm back. Barely. No, I'm being a little dramatic. I'm fine. I just, like I said to you guys know at this point, for those that aren't new, that I don't read unless, for the collective at least, unless I find the collective readings to be difficult, especially as the collectives that watch grow, because the messages become more complicated. You know, trying to communicate them at least. And then if I'm not in a grounded place, I mean, who knows what I'm going to say or how I'm going to say it. So we're back in full form. Feeling like $1,000,000, feeling a lot better. And yeah, really, really feeling stoked about your reading for May. Couple of, things from a tarot perspective. I don't have much, only because I haven't been watching much tarot in the past few weeks. I've been a little caught up in some shit and haven't been watching too much, but I'll always shout out the ones I connect with in the week or the month. Water Baby Tarot and Saltwater Heals are go-tos right now, as well as Mana. So outside of those three, I haven't really been watching much tarot, but you guys can always check those guys out. They're really good. Yeah, actually I have been watching Saltwater Heals Tarot. Missy, that's the homie. She's absolutely fantastic. And she's been using these sensual healing cards. Her readings are lit. Anyways, she doesn't always use them, and she'll do a full disclaimer if she does. But anyways, yeah, other than that, not watching a lot of tarot. Oh yes, so somebody please timestamp this, by the way. And for those that always do, thank you so much. My mom, okay, who is overachiever, she's a Sag, you know, she's fantastic. Anyways, my mom is doing like an 800-kilometer bike ride from Toronto to New York for cancer. And it's a 5-day ride. It's intense. And it's in, I think, August. So I went and saw her over the past weekend, and she was telling me about it, and she's trying to raise $5,000 for a camp that a friend of hers, whose son actually just went through serious brain surgery. He's not even 5, survived it and attends this same camp. The fundraiser is for this camp. So my mom actually knows the people personally, and that's why she's, you know, kind of a part of this, and she's like seriously athletic. So the ride is more a personal thing for her, but I said, listen, I'll definitely shout it out on the platform. So if you guys want to go, I'm going to put the link below. It's her direct, I think it's a GoFundMe, or it's directly for it's a link that goes exactly to the foundation and talks about what she's doing, the ride, where she's going, and all of that. So you guys know I don't ask for donations. You know, not that there's anything wrong with asking for donations, but I'm just saying, if you guys do feel like donating, instead of donating directly to me, you can definitely go check out my mom's cause here and go support it. So thank you. Yeah, that's the spiel. And I think other than telling you guys that I do smoke pot, so and it's not the nature of this, so if you do see me, you know, hit my joint or take a 1-2 puffs, don't get all like freaked out. The whole purpose of this is your readings, but those that aren't new, you know what time it is. So yeah, let's go into prayer, guys. I feel ready to do this. Father God, Holy Spirit, ancestors, and guardian angels, thank you for rising me up out of my bed this morning, and thank you for connecting me with the collective every day. Right now in particular, I ask you to connect me to the energies, the collective energies surrounding the sign of Gemini for April to May of 2019. I ask you to allow me to communicate to them the messages that are in their greatest good surrounding their material abundance, sustenance, the relationships closest to them, their personal ascension and development, and any other messages you deem worthy at this time. Thank you, Father God, ancestors, guardian angels, and Holy Spirit, for all the unconditional love, support, and guidance you provide to us on a daily. We are absolutely nothing without you. Thank you. Amen. All right, guys. 2 steps short about getting into your 9-card spread here. I'm really trying to I've been watching Cafe Astrology, really trying to hone in on my astrology skills. They have like a really good weekly update or whatever, which is really good. Shit, I don't remember what I read. It'll come out in the messages. I retained it. But they're planetarily, from a moon perspective at least, these two, from what I understand, there's been 2 full moons in Libra back to back in 1 year, which is rare. And Libra governs, I think, the 7th house. I'm not sure, but it governs partnership and balance, right? The partnerships we have with ourselves and others, and how we relate to people in partnerships, how we show up in them, and how we... There's a lot of purging energy with these 2 back-to-back moons. It's almost like, on the justice, the scales, and I'm looking at the unknown tarot deck, and there's the 2 cats with the sword in the middle. So it's like this Libra, these 2 full moons in the same sign back-to-back like this, ironically enough, being in Libra, and it's also like the last, it's quite energetically a very profound time for the collective. Now, how that's playing out in your life individually, we'll definitely look at that in your spread, but partnerships are collectively a focus for a lot of people. Now, you might look at people and be like, well, my friend isn't focused on, their boyfriend or their girlfriend or their significant other or even dating in general, but they are in high negotiations with a business partner, or maybe even partnering with a real estate broker, or, someone who is going to, how you relate in partnerships, what you give and what you receive, and how you ensure that balance so that whatever is negotiated, whatever is drawn from said partnership is balanced and clean, right? So that's what these collective energies, I believe, are trying to do, is hone in on people's self-awareness about what it is they're receiving and accepting, and then what it is they're giving and how that feels and what the end user experience is, okay? Now, let's cut this deck and get into her. Sorry for the long intro, guys, but timestamp it. And thank you to those that do the really thorough timestamps prior to the prayer. Thank you, guys, because you guys don't see me often, so I want to chat with you a little bit prior and smoke one with you and on all that. Okay. Overall energy for the Geminis for May. The Star. Balancing out. Very reflective of these 2 full moons, this Libra energy. It's very Temperance energy as well. It's this balancing out. This is earth, this is water, stability, 3D, pragmatism, coins with our emotions, our desires, our deepest wants, okay? Balancing the dreams to the reality, right? Fantastic energy to have going into spring. Now, they talk about the pink moon. I think April 20th, it was the pink moon. The reason why they call it the pink moon is because of the time of year. It's this budding, right? Springtime, depending, of course, where you're at. But, for people in North America, right, there's this who've gone through winter, understand what this time of year really brings. Pink is significant of that budding, everything coming back to life again. Okay. But it's funny. It's come back to life after maybe a really long winter. of having to temper out, balance, you know. I'm getting emotional imbalance due to maybe some imbalance with home, money, or work, and then how that affected your emotions. But anyways, guys, let's get into it. We're already 10 minutes in. Okay, your first card out is the Page of Wands. Second card out is the Knight of Wands. Beautiful. And then we've got the Four of Swords. So right off of the hop, we've got ideas, actions, and healing. That's funny. So for some of my Geminis, before I even drop the next 6 cards, I'm seeing that. And guys, I'm going to acknowledge this. You know what? Let me just pull the cards next. Okay. Yeah, exactly. See? And what did I say? The justice scales, right? They would show up, and that they're showing up right dead in the middle of your spread. 7 of Wands, 8 of Wands, 7 of Wands, right in between the Angel of, and right in between those is the Angel of Integrity. Okay. Now, before I lay the next 3, now I can get into this, because for some of my Geminis, some of you might be regretting a quick action or idea that you decided to take, and are now having to heal from either the reality that you were struck with or the consequences that came from said sudden actions. The Knight of Wands could be quite hasty with his actions coming really quickly, almost like that spear once it's launched, or this cheetah once it decides to launch its body and attack. If anybody knows about this animal, its endurance isn't very high. Okay, the cheetah doesn't run very fast for very long. Its life on the savannah is actually, or wherever it lives, before you all come at me about the fucking cheetah doesn't live in the savannah. Whatever. Anyway, it doesn't have a high endurance. Okay, so that's why it has to be very, very strategic in its hunting, because if it just goes around running at every animal and doesn't catch a meal, this animal and any of its young that relies upon it are going to die. So this is fleeting energy. This is energy that doesn't have a lot of endurance. And what's funny is healing. This is either healing from someone who didn't have a lot of endurance, okay, or having to heal from the consequences of you moving to something and maybe not completing it, maybe not following through. Right? You go from the Page, the Wands, to the 4. Anyway, but then right after that, you go from the 4 to the 8. So you double up, right? And the action comes back. So it's like you go from action, Page of Wands, action, Knight of Wands, to thought. So there's this action that was taken towards you, that has planted seeds in your mind, or that you took towards it. Now there's this ebb and flow. Ebb and flow. Shout out my homie April. There's this ebb and flow of action, and then needing to retreat and think. Action, needing to retreat, and then think. Okay? So the advice that I would see here is think before the action, not the action before the thought. Just maybe the cycle, maybe instead of going counterclockwise, go clockwise kind of idea, right? But right away, this is looking good. It's looking like I'm seeing good intent with these actions. You know what I mean? Trying. It's almost like it's younger energies, right? They're so ambitious. These parts of us that are so ambitious. So I'm seeing for a lot of Geminis, they might be at a point where they're taking action towards something that maybe they haven't before. Maybe this is whatever it is they're taking action to is making them maybe feel a little bit vulnerable because of how out of their element they are, or how maybe unexperienced they might feel in said arena or in said situation. Right? So if you might be, a 30, 40, 50-year-old person, put yourself in a situation or an environment that you're not accustomed to or is new, there's going to be a sense of this part of you that comes back out, right? That's why a lot of people seek adventure, so that these parts of them are always developing, right? That they always let their inner children live, but not just live, continue to grow, right? Because there's different phases of you living out right now. Okay, if you're a 40-year-old person, Okay, there's these parts of you also living out in your experience. That's why you do the child work, to make sure they're healthy, right? Because they will push you to take action and be brave. They will push you to be, you know, adventurous and inspired when life might, after, you know, 10, 20, 15 years, drag that out of you. You make sure your inner child lives, and you make sure you nurture that. That inner child will push you. You'll always feel that feeling you had when you were a teen or in your young 20s, except for you're not an idiot like we were in our teens and our young 20s. Now, if you are in your teens and your young 20s, you're a fucking idiot, and you got to go through the motions, because that's just how that shit works. And I mean that with the utmost love. Nobody's exempt to that, not including myself. It just comes with being young. You know, there's the, you know, getting old sucks, except for the fact you're just wiser. You know, it really takes some of the pressure off. Mind you, you still get into shit. Anyway, back on track. That energy seems, and it, again, from what I was researching about these full moons and what's happening even with Venus, it's like, and why I put an emphasis on Venus, because it's like the love we have for ourselves, and in these partnerships and relationships, which is what Libra puts that emphasis on. And it's in the middle of your spread, which is making me feel like it's this balancing of yourself in order to maybe balance out a relationship. Now, this could be with siblings. You know what I mean? You know, maybe there was like a direct fight with siblings, and both had to go into their corners. But it's like a sense of needing to quickly reconcile, because maybe there is work that they do together. Sorry, guys. Maybe there's a certain level of work. You rely on each other to make money, or you know, have some kind of business or partnership. Maybe you take care of parents together, you know, and there's some fighting happening around that. I'm also seeing possibly some legal situations surrounding a parent where the children might be fighting a bit regardless of age. And I am seeing some healing. So if there is some, you know, health or medical issues, I do see that being part of the journey, and the strength acquired from that is really going to spiritually do a lot for the person who is not well right now. The person who is going, I'm seeing, and this could be Gemini, this could be you, some of you going through health issues that are associated with some chakra blockages. Some of you might be experiencing chronic migraines that are not normal for you. It could be the purging of some of the mental, psychological stuff. Like, think about it. If you're having lower back or abdominal pains that are not, you know, justified by doctors, or there's nothing physically, diagnostically wrong with you, but you're experiencing a discomfort or pain, it's because that chakra needs attention. It's trying to get your attention. If it's at the bottom, that's that base chakra. Looking at your roots, looking at your foundation and how you relate to it. Because if you relate to your foundation in an unhealthy way, that shit's gonna rot you from the inside out. Finding healthy ways to identify to your own foundation that you created, or that was created for you. You know, what you were exposed to, and then how you built off of that. Right? So yeah, 8 of Wands, Justice, and 7 of Wands. This is also a message. Quick communication with regards to a legal matter, and having to deal with the challenges of standing your ground. So I am seeing some kind of litigation between two people that has probably been going on for a while, but there is a sense of so with the 7 of Wands, that traditionally is like standing your ground, you know, defending your point, really strongly, to the point of, I don't care what comes at me. I know what I know, or I feel what I feel, or the action that I take or was taken is justified. Right? And then it's like balancing out. Some of my Geminis are going to have to balance out and really stand firm in some of the communication that they receive. Okay. Now, if this is some kind of, you know, disagreement, legal battle, conflict of some kind, the need in order to make it healthy conflict, because I'm getting the sense that this conflict is surrounding close relationships. These are not necessarily, you know, you start talking to somebody or you're dating somebody, you decide you don't want to anymore, that's cool. But if we're talking about, you know, really significant others, siblings, parents, you know, nucleus family, it's not so easy. There's a need to have to go through the challenges, you know, figure out, strategize, understand, be aware, right? Which is the part of the challenge. That's why we have these close relationships. That's why we can't be close with everybody. That's why we have to use discernment to decide which relationships require our close proximity, are worthy of our close proximity. And what worthy means is, can you learn, benefit, grow, and ascend from said partnership? But not just that. Can they? Is there a balance? Give and receive, you know, but you do that internally first. So I think the energies are happening at the same time. So for a lot of my Geminis, they're working on this experience while dealing with close partnerships, whether platonic, nucleus family, or romantic. All right. Now, 10 of Wands, lots of fire energy. Okay. So this is action. For those that have gone through stagnation for, you know, the past couple weeks or months, that's about to change, which is probably why for those that have gone through stagnation, and we're talking long stagnation, there is going to be a need when this action happens or this action's taken or things pick up to need to heal, maybe in a couple of days or weeks, needing to take time to process what's happening, maybe process how quickly things have changed, maybe process all the downloads that are coming to you that you now need to apply and take action with, right? It's like, you know, when these angels come and bombard you with this information, it's for a reason, not to confuse you, not to stress you out, for you to process it so that you can prepare quickly for what is destined, planned to arrive, happen, or occur, right? Now, the 10 of Wands is, what's beautiful about this is for those of you who have been in a certain battle and have really stood your ground. And what I'm seeing here is that I feel like this energy here, even though it's younger, less mature than this energy, this approach, they're both taking a different approach. One is more hasty in action. The other one is more in thought. It's almost like this energy is standing its ground and this energy is coming in full throttle. The energy that's standing its ground, okay, is releasing the burden. There is, for those that are going through legal situations or conflict, like if this is resonating, this wraps up. This is not like there is a specific conflict. This energy, this collective energy is drawing up something for you, and it's in the form of a very specific situation which surrounding partnership. But like I said, you can't limit it to romantic. But whatever you are learning or is being drudged up by any relationship will affect romantic partnerships, will affect the way you relate with your family. Like, you have to understand, if you're dealing with your family members in a very combative way, trust and believe when you go out and you start interacting with people and meeting people, yeah, you might not be that way off of the hop, but when they get into the close, when they start getting into those feelings, the same feelings that your deep nucleus family will bring out in you, they're going to get that combative side, because that's how you've learned, trained yourself, or continued to allow yourself to be. So allow this energy to bring up change. It's going to bring light and shadow, because I really believe that was why the universe put these 2 Libra full moons back to back. Why else? It's so balanced. It's like, it's almost like the universe is like, we can't do Libra like that because we understand Libra better than you. So there's got to be 2 full moons. And it's also in preparation for this portal, this 2020 portal that's going to open up, right? We've got 2020. Then we have 2021. Then we have 2022. The next 2-3 years are going to bring up so much in order to purge and balance. This is going to affect so much. This is already in the process. This isn't an overnight sensation, even though the energies I'm looking at right now are fast. Maybe it's been a long time coming. Maybe these ideas have been happening for years, and now finally an action is taking place. And then the person maybe who takes the action feels like they need to recluse and heal. Or maybe the person who's receiving this needs time to think. So Geminis, if you are taking fast action to somebody, you need to consider that when you do that, you need to give them room to process what you're saying before they can then double up and come in and give you, you know, the action that reflects kind of what you took, or the information that it is that you were sharing that you're looking to get back in return. I hope this is making sense, guys. Because like I said, a bitch just barely made it back. But we're not forgetting about the star, all this balanced out energy. 8, 10, that's 4, that's 5, that's succession. 8, 7, 8. Page, night. This is successioning. It's balancing on all fronts for those in partnership and relationship. Okay. And I'm talking partnership and relationship where this growth has already been in process. Like the ascension, where you know the conflict you experience with someone in this relationship brings you up. That's why it's worth the conflict. Because you come out better independently, which is why you're able to rejoin stronger every time. It's almost like that, right? It's funny, I was over at the Bluffs. Let me get these 2 cards down. I was over by the Bluffs. Holy shit. I'm going to show you the cards too. I was over by the Bluffs by me, and I saw, it's mating season, right? So there's some parks that people go by the cliffs to bird watch, and I seen these birds, these paired birds, and what I noticed about them is they don't fly like this. They fly like this. You get what I mean? They're not attached to each other. They fly alone. They choose to bring their energies back. Okay, so for those that are in partnerships, and when I say partnerships, I mean, you know, committed relationships, okay, where there's this development and this growth within it, regardless of the conflict, you're at a point. But this is pivotal. There's a certain level of balance that gets acquired. So maybe wrapping up a karmic cycle with a partner and now embarking on a new phase with said partner. Because with the 10 of Wands, Temperance, and the Ace of Cups, we've got, I mentioned Justice, and I said when I saw this card, I saw Justice and I saw Temperance. And both of them showed up. Because it's balancing season, folks. Let it happen. Because if you keep fucking flailing around, the scales keep turning and you don't get them to... They're balanced like that because she's still. This water, it takes a certain level of balance and strength for this individual to hold these giant pottery bowls and blend them like this evenly. And with Temperance, let's not forget, who knows? This material is hot. Dangerous, that's the Alchemist. Okay, so this is tempering season. This is justice served season. For those that have been dealing with the justice system, there's going to be a serious burden that is relieved for the simple fact something gets balanced out, decided, and the challenges just reach a boiling point where both people are able to start new, regardless of how that fares. Because I'm not here to tell you how it's going to fare. I just know that you're probably going to feel fantastic, Gemini, about the simple fact of moving forward. And if this is, you know, if you are going through like the tail end of a legal divorce. This is that it's balanced. I'm starting new because I dropped a burden, right? But that's if like you've gone through, this is the end of it. Because like I said, this relationship here has really, for the couples I'm talking about, this isn't a new coupleship. The ones going through these type of challenges that require this kind of healing, right? And this kind of level of needing to stand your ground. I'm seeing an ebb and flow. I'm seeing a pattern that eventually reaches an end because both people involved have found a new healthy way to connect, to bond, to relate to one another. All right? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energies. I'm going to show you guys your cards now. And can somebody please timestamp when I showed the cards, just in case like people ever want to see them again, because my videos are so long. Anyways, so we've got the Page of Wands, the Knight of Wands, the Four of Swords, the Eight of Wands, in the middle of your spread being the second most powerful energy related to the star. Your overall energy here is Justice, the Angel of Integrity. So ideas, action, healing, journeys, and challenges with the Seven of Wands, and then burdens with the Ten of Wands, Temperance, the Angel of Peace, and then the Ace of Cups. This is a brand new look at yourself, loving yourself in a new way, a more healthy way, a more genuine way, refilling your cup, putting a whole new value to what it is you offer because you've sat there and tempered yourself for God knows how long. So when she does finally get all this fluid in a cup, she then offers it. We've got Sagittarius, Libra energy as your major arcana and Aquarius energy. But you guys know I'm not hung up on that. We've got fire. The only thing we don't really have here is Pentacles. But that no matter. But yeah, I'm going to do some clarification now with the new elements, the New Era Elements Tarot by Eleanor Piper, which is a fantastic deck. I ordered it from Europe somewhere. I don't know. Shit, I just got to getting on eBay. And it's done by Eleanor Piper. She's a PhD. So I just want to warn you, they're not sexual images, but they're graphic. Some people get a bit jarred if I don't warn them, because some of them are just kind of like, they're dark. But the point is to invoke an emotion. So the emotions surrounded by the traditional tarot are really depicted on these cards. So I'm going to use this deck to clarify for you. Okay. Thank you, Father God, Holy Spirit, and ancestors for this beautiful spread for my Geminis from April to May. This balancing out is phenomenal, but it's happening fast. And it's not just, it's action. It's like it's like actions taking, recruits. You having to retreat, balance, actions taking, having to retreat, balance, action. It's like, and for some of my Geminis, if that resonates with you, you have to stand your ground. And that's not in an aggressive, angry way. It's in this way. Nurturing, like that bird. Birds, like I've had birds like come on my hand and eat food. But maybe 3 times out of the 100,000 times I've tried. It's because of the energy. It needs to feel safe, fully 100 safe. You have to be calm. You need to be grounded. So it's like knowing that the downloads you received when you were in that space were correct. Okay, the actions you took surrounding those. Okay. I'm getting multiple messages because some of my Geminis were a bit hasty or might have experienced energy that was a bit hasty. Okay? It's almost like this inspiration occurred, ideas popped in, action was taken, and then it was like, oh shit. But then it's like, after that, it's like some more action. So and then standing your guard. So it's like, okay, there it is. whether you took the action or whether it's taken towards you, this fast moving energy will probably withdraw only to come back again saying, no, I'm sure about what I said before. It's just that I needed that time. Or some of my Geminis are feeling like, oh shit, like I came in really fast and now I'm getting all of this communication. Some of my, that's what it is. So it's like, it's a reaction. I'm seeing some reactive energy. Impulsive. That also has to do with planetarily what's going on with the moon and shit. Also with Aries. Aries leaving, the sun leaving Aries and going into Taurus is actually really beautiful right now with this balancing out energy. But like, let's not forget that energy of Aries had us feeling a little bit short-sighted, which is kind of the Knight of Wands energy to me. It doesn't have a lot of endurance. And then it's like, yeah, I didn't have endurance, so now this needs to relax and heal from all the energy that was exerted in said action. Maybe it was because you didn't get the energy back. You know, some of my Geminis might have shot their shot at an opportunity or person and didn't get the energy they wanted and got complete recluse back. But if that is the case, you need to be patient, because that energy, I believe, will come back to you. But the need to relinquish control is really important, because it's like these scales don't balance with her trying to hold it. If she keeps touching the shit, just leave it alone and stay grounded, which is what this Taurus energy will do. We're going into a grounded time after a time of balancing. This Piscean energy as well, okay, that we walked away, like there's this Piscean energy with either Venus or Mercury. Either Venus or Mercury, and it's causing, it's both, sorry, Venus and Mercury. Anyways, it's causing these blurred boundaries. So what I believe is a lot of my Geminis are going to move into June feeling like boundaries have not just been created, but respected and understood. So that's why I believe there's a certain level of love for yourself that you're going to have, because you prove to yourself that your boundaries are worth standing up for, even if no one else will. Right? Justice then gets served. See a lot of action coming in for my Geminis, a lot of movement, you know, a lot of inspiration, change in thought. You know, if you guys are going through a really hard time emotionally and feeling like this action isn't applying to me, or I don't see how that action could apply to me, because you are more feeling like this Four of Swords energy, really cerebral, maybe trapped in thought, maybe just exhausted, you know, psychologically from everything you've had to think about. But it's like what you're going through psychologically, mentally, is in order to prepare you, brace you, and help you better understand the energies that are quickly coming to you, because it looks like it's coming regardless. Like this is already in motion. This cat's already about to go. This is already balanced. Like the way he's holding it, it's already ready to launch. You can tell the way it's balanced up. It's because it's just at the moment he's about to shoot it off, just like this cheetah. So it's going to happen, right? It's how long do you want to stay in this bed and heal? You know, how do you want to look at the time that you spent in the bed? Is it just like, oh, I've been, you know, limited? Or are you going to look at it as, no, I've been healing? Was this a limitation, or was this an empowerment? Because I think you're going to need to understand this time, because you might need to take it again. A lot of people need to understand how valuable the Four of Swords is to everyone at every stage. You're going to go through cycles that this is required regardless. This need to heal and reflect, take action, heal, think, reflect, take action. It's like, it's The only thing missing out of here is Pentacles and Cups, and then right at the end is the Cups. I see a lot of my Geminis going through some conflict, but the conflict brings about the kind of comfort and stability you wanted in order to proceed forward with a new opportunity, a new passion, a new endeavor, or a new relationship, or a new way of loving the person you're already with. So it's conflict with resolution. Conflict resolution. That's what I'm going to name this, conflict resolution, because that's simple. I get fucked up with the names, trying to like, is it too long? Because I'll be typing slash and then I'll end up like erasing it all and just, because it's like, it's too long. You cannot save the file. Anyway, let's get into your clarifications. Oh, we're already at 40 minutes. All right. Let's get into it here. Can I get clarification for the Page of Wands, the Knight of Wands, and the Four of Wands? Okay, so a lot of, and it's funny because I really like the Father of Water, but the Father of Water can be very limited in his communication of feelings. It's not, he has just as much feelings as the Mother. It's just a different kind of strategy with regards to expressing it. It could be a little bit, it's almost like with the King of Water, the Queen will just pour her feelings out. But with the King, he won't. But when he does decide, it's almost like, it's that energy. And maybe feeling a little bit overwhelmed and taken back about, or needing to feel, needing to understand how and process how you feel about this opportunity now, about a new opportunity that's coming into you. Some of you might be emotionally challenged about a new opportunity that presents itself or has already presented itself. Okay, and there might have been some hasty action initially taken towards it, whether by you or somebody else. You know, you guys, it can reverse. But yeah, it's like, these are the ideas that come when a new opportunity, the inspiration, the excitement, you know, of all the actions you want to take, and then deciding on an action, right? And maybe not fully communicating properly what the action is that you needed to take, and then needing to heal from it, either because you didn't get the reaction you want, or the person then pulls their energy back because they need to heal because they don't understand what was just shot at them, or what just came for them. Maybe when they didn't send for it, maybe when they did, I don't know. Okay? Father, God, Holy Spirit, and ancestors, can you please clarify the Eight of Wands? Oh shit, the Tower. So for some of you, the action that you took shook shit up, and you had to heal because you are now dealing with the aftermath of the action that you took. Okay? Wow. Some of my Geminis might be feeling like the action they took brought in straight failure, or some of them might be over dramatizing how that regret over a certain action, they're over dramatizing it. Or this is exactly what that consequence is. It is quite, you know, it could be one of two ways. It could actually, in fact, be, you know, I feel like the actions that were taken from a really positive place. And then because the response wasn't what you wanted or what they wanted, now their outlook is changing. And it's quite dramatic and dark. Again, this Libra energy of these two moons, this polaring. Right? And it's like, the more sensitive you are or aware you are, the more dramatic this may play out. So just needing to be aware that if you are experiencing, now listen, I don't know if this is what you were trying to do, or maybe someone was trying to do this. Maybe somebody was trying to tear something down in order for it to be rebuilt in a more healthy way somewhere else, whatever. But there is a sense of feeling like there's failure there, or anticipating loss, or this fear of loss, or this like assuming that loss is just inevitable, or prematurely assuming the demise of something because, like I said, you didn't get the reaction you wanted, or the response, or this person pulled back their energy because they needed to think before they came back in. So let's see how temporary that is, because I feel like I said there's this back and forth, this ebb and flow, right? That's happening. They're extremes, right? Can I get clarification on the Justice and the Seven of Wands? Wow. So again, for those going through a legal situation, this is really stressed out. This is almost like that being on Google and researching way too much information to the point of like feeling so stressed out that you now can't sleep and you're like dying slowly, pretty much. You know, it's also the Seven of Cups here, the Nine of Air, and then the Daughter of Air. So this is like maybe being a little bit confused about how you feel. This is getting thoughts and feelings on the same page. Swords govern thoughts and communication. Cups govern emotions, deep desires, feelings, things like that. But it's like needing to get them on the same page, and because they're not, there's a lot of confusion. So again, if there's conflict with the relationships closest to you, it might be feeling one way. Again, these relationships closest to you, feeling one way, but being confused about those feelings because what you're seeing or what you're thinking in your mind is maybe a lot more dark, to say the least. Okay. So again, if you are going through some kind of litigation or legal situation, just stand your ground, okay? And stop trying to self-diagnose this. If you've got, you know, if this is being handled by lawyers or something like that, let it be handled by them. There's no point in stressing yourself out. I think you've done the research you needed to do in order to prepare yourself to drop this burden, which we will get clarification about, okay? All right, Father God, Holy Spirit, ancestors, can I please get clarification for the Ten of Wands? Wow, the Devil. And this is what I mean by some of these cards are extremely like graphic. And like if you look at that, you know, this is all the destruction, the carnage, the death that comes from materialism, enslavement, psychological imprisonment and warfare, the conquering, the stealing of land, the merciless actions that have been taken against our children, humanity. But when you divvy this down, there's a lot of ways to look at it. These holocausts have happened in smaller forms and fashions to us all, haven't they? These energies have negatively impacted, taken, and killed a lot of things in our life, haven't they? It's dropping the burden of maybe how strong materialism burdens you. Maybe it's dropping the burden of your materialistic outlook on life. Maybe it's dropping the burden of your uninclusive, racist, prejudicial or whatever. I'm not, guys, I barely finished high school. You know, it's understanding how this plays out in your specific life. Yes, this is depicted as history, but how does history repeat itself in your life? And this is the negative side, the dark side, the shadow side of history. Now, a lot of people say, do you not read this card for Capricorn? Absolutely. But Capricorns, what I know about them is they are the leaders of detaching from this energy, understanding the art of attaching to gain understanding, only to detach and shine brighter. Capricorns are supposed to lead in that. Capricorns are supposed to lead in moderation, understanding what excessiveness does you know, gluttony does, you know. It's dropping the burden of a negative karmic tie or an attachment, because that's what's better to say, because attachments are all bad. People say, well, I'm attached to my kid. Well, you should be bonded to your kid, not attached to your kid. Because if you're attached to your kid, they end up 40 living at your home, unable to live in a proper relationship outside of their parent or their mother, you know, or their father or whatever. That codependent relationship is dropping the burden of that in your life and understanding the true values. And it looks like a lot of my Geminis divvy it down to one important thing. Maybe you realize what has always allowed this energy to hold you back and burden you was the lack of love you had for yourself. Understanding that you tempering out your wants, your desires, your dreams, and giving yourself some acceptance allowed this energy to not be able to tether onto you in a way it was always accustomed to. Maybe the way it has for many, many years. Okay. And then, can I get lastly clarification on this beautiful Temperance and Ace of Cups? Absolutely gorgeous way to end a reading and go into summer, you know, go into June. Absolutely amazing. There we have it, folks. Okay. Now I'm getting actually a couple of messages here. Okay. I quite frankly think this is overcoming defeat. We've got the 5 of Air. This was that back and forth, that bickering, that one-upping, that energy that is not about coming together, but it's more about who's better. It's more about me and you instead of we kind of energy. It's that, and that there's a line, there's a light that shine to it. Communication breaks in. There's a balance here. You have 2 knights. And it's funny because this was that this action, this is a new way of people moving forward. A new way of going forward, putting the defeat behind to start over in a more balanced way. And it's funny because what did I say? I said with this, the head and the heart weren't on the same page because there was confusion with illusions and cruelty with the 9 of Air. And it's because some of my Geminis might have been a bit confused about how they felt. And then it's getting that on the same page and being able to take action again, but accept this action won't be so hasty. I don't know if there's going to be so much healing and time apart in between communicating. Why? Because it's coming from a lot more grounded, balanced place now, moving into spring. So there's a sense of defeat that is released and passion reinvigorated again. It's really good energy going into June. So for those that have been going through conflicts, regardless of the conflicts, probably conflicts in really close relationships, just know that there's a lot of planetary energy pushing you to do that. So instead of fighting it, try to surrender to it and gain the most you can out of it, and really put this energy behind you. Understanding that maybe you're better as a team instead of as an individual, because who wins? You know, who wins? It's defeat. It's just defeat. It's like, you know, there's these other ones too around. Yeah, it's putting that to bed. Because, yeah, that's getting put to bed. And this is that balance here. they're each one of these cups. Blending thoughts with feelings, blending thoughts with feelings, blending thoughts with feelings. Yeah. This could also be a new relationship with somebody who functions very differently than you, and trying to figure out how to offer your cup to them in a way that functions from that different place, but possibly deciding that it can't. And so like the ace, that's dolo, you know? So it's like, if it's not, this cup isn't being offered to you, then it might be you just walking off with your own. It's okay to understand that the differences in the way you love and communicate with people are a part of you understanding what it is you need in a relationship to feel fulfilled, instead of blaming the other party for not having what it is you want or functioning in the way you need. It's acceptance. It's understanding, it's accepting, it's saying this is for me or this isn't for me. Okay. And then we'll do some romance angels and then we're done, guys. Your Gemini reading was amazing. Wow. Any clarification, more clarification for my Geminis? So the cards you have here, wow, soulmate. So a lot of you are going through conflict with somebody who you are meant to come out tempered with. That you will absolutely offer yourself in an emotional way once this purging happens. Because for a lot of my Geminis, that resistance was you tempering. Who knows how long she's been there, swishing that fluid around in those cups. So I'm getting the sneaking suspicion when the Angel of Peace decides that that tempering's done and to hand it over, it's some good shit. So I think that this was really good. There's the Angel of Integrity and Peace both working here, balancing so that you can proceed forward, give and receive. And that cup has pure alkaline love in it. Alkaline meaning it's love that will benefit you. Your DNA, your body, your mind, your soul. It will nourish you. It will not rot you from the inside out. Okay? It will not enclose you, wrap you up and suffocate you and stop you from moving forward like it has in the past. Okay? Then you've got heart-to-heart conversations, forgiving and learning. And then it's engagement. Your love life ascends to another level. So I'm getting for a lot of my couple Geminis that are in a relationship, like I said, where there has already been some ascension that is happening, growth between both people. It's only going to ascend further through conflict as long as the heart-to-heart conversations, meaning honestly discuss your feelings with each other. And then forgiving and learning, as you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moment. So it's like this ascension comes from the forgiving and learning that happens. Forgiving and learning, tempering of experience, past to present, then moving forward in the present, balanced, understood. It's just, guys, I can't even go further. It's already an hour in. It's a really good reading for you guys. You're going to go into June feeling good. For those that this resonates with, June, your birthday season is going to feel really good because of all of this. So don't feel like, oh, well, because I feel like this way now, you know, perpetuating that negative energy further out. Understand that you're in a moment in time. Accept it, understand it. Do not beat yourself up for actions you think you regret. Do not beat yourself up for, you know, that beating of yourself down is very unproductive. It doesn't get the point across. It doesn't help with the healing. It'll just cause further illusions because you're not looking at yourself correctly. You're not treating yourself correctly. Therefore, what you're putting up with is probably not correct either. Thor, can you stop? I'm on the YouTube. She has no respect. Okay, anyways, I love you guys. That's your reading. Thank you for sticking with me, guys, for your support, your likes, comments, shares, subscribe. If you want a personal reading, feel free to email me at queencuptarot@gmail.com. All that information will be below. But until I see you guys, continue to let your inner angels live. Okay? And I say that and I see a bird just flying. Continue to let your inner angels live, and I will see you soon. Ciao.